All right, it's time to start? Hello. Well, I don't have a proper YouTube channel name yet though, right? Rebecca Rose's chair.
Hey, you should make sure to give yourself a nice little introduction. Who you are. 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Okay. Hi, I am Rebecca Rose. It's on my notes, and I have quick descriptions of myself because people always ask for it when you do auditions and submissions, and it's nice to have them on hand. So, for example, one that I would say is, I'm Rebecca Rose, a mixed Korean model, actress, and voice talent with 10 plus years of experience working for global brands such as name, and more. Or you could talk about how I was a radio DJ, or you could talk about how I did modeling and all kinds of things. I wrote notes about the things I wanted to share with you today. And the things I want to share with you today are things that I learned in the 3 months since coming to the US to pursue acting, more specifically in New York City. Quick background. So I've actually lived in Korea for almost 10 years. And during that time, I was working as a voice actress and a model primarily. And then I started moving into commercial acting. And in order to expand my market or abilities or places that I can work and the people that I could meet, I and my fiance, who was off screen, decided to move to the US. We also had family here, and so it was a mixture of family and career that brought us here. So, some of the things that I have learned as a working actress now in New York City. Can I call myself a working actress?
You're a working actress, girl.
Thank you, Mr. Manager. Ooh, don't you just get shivers of excitement hearing that? Well, it has been quite a wild ride because we didn't really know anything when we came. Undoubtedly, there are people who are watching this who are also interested in acting or are simply curious about it or have curiosity about if I will succeed or fail. Well, one of the first things that I learned was how to build your actor's resume. Believe it or not, in Korea, I never had a resume. I never had to use anything. Turns out here, things are specified to the exact everything. How many columns you have and the orders that it goes in. Is it film? Is it TV? Is it voice acting? Is it music videos? Can I put this in here? What about background work? And these were all kinds of questions that I didn't even know I would have to ask. And eventually I did. And it was very fun to note that I had things to actually put on my resume, which was a lot better than I initially thought. The other thing that I also learned was how to take headshots. And I will not go into detail here on how to take proper headshots, and I'm particularly talking in terms of actors' headshots. I have worked in the model industry for such time that I just knew how it went in the model industry as opposed to in the actors industry. And acting is just, it's a very different thing. And the kind of photos they're looking for your headshots, the look that they want, let's say like the tone or the character, the personality that you were presenting through that photograph. Those were all things we had to figure out. What do they mean when they're saying your type? What do they mean when they say your character? And so we had to learn how to take headshots. I'm very fortunate that my Mr. Manager is a very good photographer, and we had to do it multiple times. But yeah, so we learned how to take headshots. And like I said, we'll go through that in detail in another video because we learned a lot. Something else that I've learned in the past few months is the value of networking. And of course, this is common knowledge, right? Especially if you're going to be in the entertainment industry. It's not what you know, it's who you know. And it really goes quite a long way. Somebody saw you once and they remembered you when they were in this room with that person who was searching for a certain individual who looks like you, and they could say, oh, do you remember Rebecca Rose? No, I've never met her. Let me introduce you. And then it just kind of works like that and connects through. It is really important to remember every person you meet is important. And I'm talking about in terms of career. Of course, every person is important in terms of as a human being. But when you're talking about career, you never can discount someone that you run into. Perhaps they are a student today making their short films, and tomorrow they'll be the director casting you. The other thing that has surprised me, speaking of people in the industry, how nice and normal people are. We have this mindset, especially in the modeling world. Okay, well, the modeling world is a little bit different. Actually, let's be honest. I think is a little bit cattier in some places. So far in the acting industry, of the people that I've met, yeah, you have people who are straightforward. Of course, you're gonna have those who will take no nonsense because they've seen it all. And then you just have those who are genuinely in love with the craft. And that includes all aspects of it. They are in love with nurturing new talent and loving to see how you develop and grow. These are acting teachers and coaches. And then you have those who love the technical aspect of it, how the light hits the character's face just right, and how you're gonna Rembrandt lighting. See, I learned something too. Or you have people who just like to mix the music and the audio because that can control the emotion and the tension that arises in a scene and draws something out of the audience and heightening emotions. And then you have people who love the business aspect of it. People who teach you, okay, so you just made a lot of money from this film, but how does that work? Where does that go? Who deserves what cut? How do you maintain this so that you can continue to live, so you're not a struggling artist? And all of this is part of this great, wonderful craft that we call acting. One very valuable thing I learned is that casting directors are your friends. I am sure this has, based, of course, rooted perhaps in some truthfulness, that casting directors, you're just a dime a dozen to them. They see millions of actors every day. Who cares about you? You're nothing special. And they just go next. Thank you for your time. Not interested, not responding. And you might take it personally and feel like, wow, they're real mean. Don't they recognize my talent and my skill? But what is true is to remember the casting director is there to give you a job. They want to put you in your role. They want to cast you. And they want to entrust you with a valuable thing that writer and producer and director and casting director and the team has worked on so long, and they want to give that to the right person. And I think that surprised me to realize, casting directors are just normal people just looking for the right person. And getting rid of a bias that I might have unconsciously had. So that was something that was a pleasant surprise, let's say. I hope casting directors are watching this because I love you guys. Okay, that was pandering. But genuinely, that was something that surprised me. We talk about icons, classic actors, people who are on the stage, those we see on the screen, and we remember them for such and such reason. And it's oftentimes, you can feel discouraged as well when you see them and think, they're so gorgeous, that's how they got on the screen. Or they're so handsome, that's how they got on the screen. Their parent is famous, that's how they got their role. But the thing that is really true about many of these iconic people or people you may admire who are incredible actors or artists is the reason they reach this point. Yes, maybe they're in the right place at the right time. But ultimately, a lot of them are just interesting people. They have something special about them. They nurtured it, or they recognized what that was, and they expanded on their talent, their skill, and it's inevitable that they are going to catch your eye. And all of that to say is not they are such faraway individuals and I'm such a lowly creature, here I am, but that you too have something special and interesting about you. And you need to see it and acknowledge it and nurture it and grow it. And it will be hard for people to ignore that, because I think people who are truly interesting and truly themselves and truly love to grow that special thing that they have, that is very rare. It's uncommon for a person to fully embrace themselves and want to show that to the world. That has been an encouraging thing to recognize. They are normal people who had something interesting, special, they nurtured it and grew, and then were seen by everyone else. And you have that too, I have that too. And so I'm also growing into an interesting, well-rounded, shining person that soon other people will also see. And that is possible for everyone. And the last thing, I guess that ties in with that, was how important it is to just be yourself. If you are truly yourself, that is the most attractive thing about a person. Having the full confidence to accept every aspect of you and recognizing greatness can be anywhere. It doesn't have to fit a certain ideal or a certain trope or image or expectation. If you are truly great, it is because you have truly embodied who you are, and you're not afraid to show that to people. Confidence is very, very attractive. That being all said, yes, I've come to the US, and I've seen the way the industry maybe does actually run, and I've also seen it too, the biases I had against the industry and how I expected the industry to run. And the truth that I've realized is, well, I cannot be what everybody wants in that exact moment. So I must be myself, because nobody else can take that place. And I think the same goes for you. Is there anything else that I wanted to add? I mean, there's so many lessons that I had so far. This is just the 3rd month. So tune in for a 4th month. No, but really, you'll continue this journey with me. I'm very happy to share these things that I've realized, and I'm very happy to answer any questions that you might have if you are going on this journey with me, or maybe you're far more established than I am and you have things that you want to say to me. I'd love to hear from you. So just leave a comment below, and thank you for joining me on Rebecca Rose's wild ride. But thanks for being here, and I'll see you guys next time. Because I'm obligated to do so, as this is a YouTube channel, I would be very thankful if you subscribed so that you could keep up with this and we can get to know each other. So please subscribe and follow this YouTube channel. And of course, leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you.